I am Dr. Kamini A, and I would like to talk to you certainly not about myself. I know fully well that you would be expecting to tell you how did I come up to what I am today. No, my friends, today I am going to talk to you about yourselves, because I see a lot of young adults from the age groups of 18 to 25, and I have been influenced by the kind of problems that I have seen in that age population. And therefore, I will be talking about the silent epidemic of adolescence. I am not talking about the pandemic of COVID, that all of you know, but I am talking to you about what is this epidemic of adolescence. Let's look at this. Of course, this picture is very, very common, and all of you do know that that was the Padma Shri that the government of India conferred to me in 2014. Let's look at the next slide. What is the kind of problems that I am going to be speaking to you about in the adolescence? Are there any problems at all? On the face of it, the answer may be no. But let me tell you that the kind of problems that are there in adolescence, if corrected, can lead an absolutely normal life in adulthood. A person who is healthy in adolescence becomes a healthy adult, a healthy mother, a healthy grandmother, and so also for the boy. Let me give you an example today. Miss Julia, a 33-year-old woman who's studying in an engineering college, 23, and she was in a steady relationship. Nothing wrong with that, but what happened was, over a period of time, due to peer pressure, the partner was told, why don't you have an intimate relationship with her? There's nothing wrong with that either, but she did not take precautions, nor did he suggest her to take precautions, and she found herself pregnant 2 months later. What did she do? She did not consult her mother, and this is something which is very important. The parents are not consulted, nor do parents take enough trouble to find out what the children are doing. And then what happened was, she asked her partner that what I can do. So very quickly he says, that's your problem, just go and see your doctor. She goes to the doctor, sits there twice and sees a very busy clinic, and then runs away. On the third visit to the doctor says, why did you land into problem? Are you married? And the doctor becomes very judgmental. So the fourth time she goes to the doctor says, I'm going to tell your parents, because you're not married. Now that is not a doctor's problem. The doctor's problem was to solve this problem, and she is already 23. But no, the doctor decides that she is going to tell the parents. So what did this girl do? Julia, she ran away from there, went to a quack, had an abortion, and that went horribly wrong. She landed up with sepsis and then had to be admitted in hospital with a serious problem, fever, and was there for a week. Then the parents were called in, and then everybody came to know about it. What happened then was that the partner was also called in. However, the partner did not take responsibility for this. The parents came to know about it, and all that happened was that the woman or the girl was ostracized, and she was blamed for everything. Now this is in an adolescent age group in the 21st century. Now, is this girl wrong? Is the parents responsible? Is the society responsible? Is the partner responsible? And this is something that I would like all of us to really think about, because when they come into the clinic, is the doctor responsible? I would hold everyone responsible. This is the sexual behavior and risky behavior of the couple, and this could have easily been sorted out. had the parent been more understanding, they would have at least told her how to protect herself, or they would have at least told her where to go. They should have been understanding. The doctor also should have been understanding and advised her, sorted the problem out, and then told her how to manage herself. The partner who was actually responsible for the act should have accompanied her and then made sure that this does not happen again. And of course, the entire thing should not have been stigmatized. So these kind of problems, 13% of maternal mortality is due to unsafe abortions, and over half of that occurs in the adolescent age group. So therefore, these are problems that can easily be solved, and these are problems that can be avoided. So if I am looking at this, and this is a lesson to young parents, and it's also a lesson to the young girls and boys in this particular age, that they don't have to resort to quacks, and this is something I want to see we do not repeat this. I have seen enough of people, because Julia then had landed up with infertility because her tubes were blocked, and then she had to go in for an IVF. So why does one have to go through all these kind of things when they have recourse to so much of facilities and so much of information on the net that they don't have to reach that stage? The second thing that I find, which is a very important thing that I put across for adolescents, is mental wellness. Are we really mentally well? This is the thing that I want to put across. When we say mentally well, are we going to say that just because if you laugh and do well in class, are you mentally well? Many times this mental illness comes in so insidiously that one never realizes. Now, Ronan was a 20-year-old boy who was extremely good in studies. But what happened was, he suddenly started getting lower grades. And there was no reason for him to get lower grades. His parents, being employed, didn't take notice of it. He went down further. He didn't play with his friends, and the number of phone calls came down, and eventually the parents had gone out for a movie, and when they came back, the doors of the house was closed, and we found that he was hanging from the fan dead. I came to know about this because the parents came to my clinic rolling on the floor and said, "My son is dead, he committed suicide." And the suicide note said, "My parents did not notice that I was terribly low. I went to my mother and father many times, but they did not listen to me." So I do want to say that, Mom, please look after the children, because every time I came to you, you were too busy with your work. You never spent time with us. So this is a lesson to parents, and it's also a lesson to the children, that please interact with your parents or your teachers or your friends, because mental illness can be a terrible situation. We need to take care of it and look after them, because early diagnosis and treatment can prevent untoward instances. We also have the other thing, is that children go all gusto for the NEET exam, etc. And once they get into the college of their choice, they feel that they have achieved everything. And then they start getting into bad company, go into drug abuse, and then what happens? They put on weight, they land up into substance abuses, and then we find that when they put on weight, they have obesity, they land up with diabetes, hypertension. I have seen youngsters as early as 25 landing up with heart attacks, for example, hypertension, and of course drug abuse. And the parents don't know. The way, in fact, the doctors see these populations, they say they are apparently normal, but they are apparently normal. It's like a volcano wanting to erupt. When you examine a child in the age group of, say, 18 to 24, if you actually do a physical examination, you can see a lot of injection marks in the elbow, and that will tell you about drug abuse. You will also find injection marks even on their thighs, and you will also see their behavior is a bit abnormal. Now, in these sort of situations, an astute physician will be able to see that this person has been abusing drugs. But the parents are the last to know. I urge teachers as well as parents to be able to take this up and to be very, very clear about this, that the earlier you take this up, identify the kind of people the student is actually following and make sure that you identify this and rehabilitate these students. Many of these students are actually getting into this because of the company they keep. And it is important that it's not that the parents just put them into colleges and think that the responsibility is only on the teachers and that they have no responsibility. There is a teacher in every parent, and there is a parent in every teacher. I think it has to be a joint responsibility of parents and teachers and, of course, society at large. If you find that the student is keeping wrong company, then you must alert the teachers or you must alert the parents, and I find that is very important. So keeping that in mind, substance abuse is something that one is very, very careful of in today's age, because they think it is very cool, it's chill mom, don't worry, I'm perfectly all right. Now, I brought this thing about knowledge of IVF because a time comes when everyone comes and says to me, I had a woman who came to me who was in a job which was almost like, a second division clerk, and she had no legs because she had been affected by polio. But she said to me when she came in, she couldn't actually walk properly. She was crawling like a baby. She didn't want me to help her to sit on the chair. And then I said, what do you want? She was a 32-year-old woman, and she said, I want a baby. Then in walks the husband, and the husband tells me, yes, she wants the baby. I said, what is this man? I said, what job are you in? I asked the husband. He says, I'm a physical instructor. I said, that the curiosity got over me. And I said, a physical instructor? Did you know that her legs were like this when you married? He said, yes. And then I asked him, what made you marry her? He said, I wanted to do good to society. I'm a physical instructor. I wanted to take somebody who had something like this so that I could bring this person, out into the open because I really wanted to help. I said, okay, fine, no problem. So I asked her, now, how are you going to look after the baby when your legs are not this thing? Because it's going to be difficult. She said, doctor, I will look after the baby. You just give me a baby. I was not convinced. Now, I told myself, how will this lady have a baby if I'm not able to see that the baby is going to be looked after? Because it's maternal rights on one side, but I also have to take care of the fetal rights, because the baby also needs to have a mother who will be able to take care of it. I said, who's the help at home? Then the in-laws came. So I had a counseling with all of them, and they said, yes, we will all support her. Not being very convinced, but I said, yes, let me just look after this. It's okay, I will do it. So I sort of semi-agreed, and I just told myself, let me see how she goes back home. So my clinic was on the first floor, so I was wondering how she is going to go back. So she crawled back outside the clinic, and then I told the staff not to send any patients. I went and stood outside. She crawled down the staircase, and then went to sit on the scooter. It was amazing the way she crawled, almost like a monkey, onto the scooter without taking any help. And she went and held her husband's waist and sat. I was amazed by the determination that that woman had, and I felt ashamed to say why she should not have a baby. The right to procreate is every woman or man's right. And then I gave her the baby. She had a lovely baby, 3.2 kg boy, and even today she comes. But what she taught me was that you cannot be judgmental, whether it is IVF or anything. When they say they can do it, they can do it. That's important. Okay? And what I would like to say is, do not think that adolescents do not have any problem. They have a lot of problems which are apparent. It is not problems to say that they are going to be sick in bed, but these are non-communicable diseases, and one has to make sure, if you want them to be healthy, make sure that they're healthy. So what are the things that I would like to put across to you people is, do it for your life, maintain a healthy life, drink plenty of water, sleep well, exercise daily, be friends who value you for what you are. Don't try to change yourself. Eat healthy food, appreciate the good things you have in your life, always keep the spirit to challenge yourself to do better, and engage in some form of spirituality. Have me time to think of what you have done for the day, and do not try to do everything in one day. Don't have pressure, peer pressure from parents or otherwise. Do it at your pace. Do what you want to do. Grow within yourself. And this is what I would like to say. With Ember being your theme, I would like to put across to you that these thoughts, that the fire that is burning within you, I hope that the embers of my thoughts will linger in your mind much after my talk to you is over. Thank you very much.